Hello there. Welcome to grade 10 geography. In this video, we want to look at a question from the recent question paper of September 2024. And we're going to look at question 1.3 on that question paper. So we're going to look on the topic of population density. And this is 1.3 on that question paper of September 2024. So the question reads, start the table below on population density table of province of South Africa and answer the questions that follows. So we are given a table there whereby we are having a column for province, a population, estimated area, that is a kilometer square, and then we've got density of population, that is people per kilometer square. So given this table, we are having questions that are beneath that table that we need to go through. If you go to the first question reads, define the concept of population density. So we'll first want to understand what do we mean by population, then we can try to describe what do we mean by population density. So I would say that population basically, in brief, it describes a number of people in a single area. So within the context of many cases, we define population from a context of a country. So we can actually put it down as number of people that live in a country. So that's population. Then when it becomes now population density, now we are describing it. We are describing it now as number of people living in a country per kilometer square. So we are not giving a unit of kilometer square. So basically that's the definition that we have for population density. So if you come to our answer section, we have got the brief definition written down in terms of population density. So we are saying here, this is our definition, which is saying population density, a number of people living in a country per kilometer square. So this is the definition that we have. So we have given the area being a country within the context of the question that is describing it from the point of view of a country. So this is the first question that we have. So we can move on to the next question, which is 1.3.2. So if you move on to 1.3.2 now, it reads which province has the highest population density? We are now here. And also it is 1 mark. The first question of describing population density had 2 marks. So this one is got 1 mark. So we are just going there to identify which province has the highest population density. So we are given a table there whereby we are having a column for population density here. So we are just going to go down and see which is the highest figure there in terms of the population density. You'll see that if you go down, if you compare the figures, you are going to see that Gauteng is has the highest figure there, which is 684.56 kilometer square. That is people per kilometer square. So the 684.56 that we have represents people per kilometer square. So here we are saying people per kilometer square. So this is the representation that we have in terms of that figure of 684.56. But the basic thing is that it is the highest figure that we are having in that column, which is representing the highest population density. So on 1.3.2, we have got the Gauteng province as the correct response that we have there. So if you come to our answer section again, you'd see that it's represented here as Gauteng is the province that has got the highest population density. Then I will go on to the next question to see what does it say. Now on the next question now, it says state 2 factors that has influenced the population density in the province are mentioned in question 1.3.2. So the population density that we are referring to is for Gauteng, and we are saying it is the highest. And the question is asking for 2 factors that might have influenced, that might have led to Gauteng to have a high population density. So there are many factors that we can raise there. There are many factors that we can raise there. Remember, economic activity in Gauteng province is very high. When we're talking about economic activity, we are talking about the production of goods and services that is in Gauteng province is very high. And you'll see that within the context of South African economy, the concentration of high economic activity is concentrated in Gauteng province. So you would see that there are some reasons that we can deduce from that there are enough jobs that are there in Gauteng. So there is an influx of people moving into Gauteng province. People are coming to Gauteng province to seek for jobs, to get employed. So there is a high industrialization in Gauteng province. So many workers are being accommodated there. That's why we are having more people that are living there in Gauteng province. So enough jobs can be one of them. So you'd also see that due to the high living standards that are there in Gauteng province, also people are being attracted to go there and live there. So the issue is, at the end of the day, we are having more people that are moving into the province of Gauteng. So that is going to lead to that high population density. So those are some of the reasons that we can raise, or some of the factors that we can raise. You can also talk about the issue of the good infrastructure that exists in the Gauteng province. It has facilitated the movement of people, more people in that province. So this is what we have. So if you look at the question now, it has 2 marks. So we are supposed just to raise 2 points, and each point with 1 mark. So we go there on the answer section and see what points we have that are there now on that question, which is a 1 point. Let's try to see. So if you move down to our question, which is 1.3.3, we are having enough jobs due to the issue of having enough jobs. That's why we are having high population density in Gauteng province. That's the first point that we've explained. And also we also have it is the economic heart of South Africa. The issue of the concentration of economic activity that I have been mentioning, that is there in the Gauteng province, is alleged to be the economic heart of South Africa. So we are going to have high activity in that province, and more people, and that activity is being described or being deduced by the people that have moved into that province. So this is what we have in terms of the second point. And then the third point is the high standard of living that we've discussed earlier. And then we've got improved services that are there in the Gauteng province, and also the issue of good infrastructure. So any 2 points there can be correct according to the question of 1.3.3. Then obviously we move on to the next question, which is now 1.3.4. Let's try to see what does it has to say for us. 1.3.4 reads which province has the largest area. So basically we are just going to go in the column of area and try to see which one is the largest area. So here is the area, column for area that we have, and then we look for the province with the highest figure that we have there. Obviously, it's going to be our highest area. So you go there. We are just leaving the bottom row that we have here, because this one is indicating the total figures of the columns. So we go down. So we are starting from here, and we are ending here, and try to pick which one is the highest figure. So if you look there, you'd see that the Northern Cape has got the highest estimated area there, by having 372,889. So which means the Northern Cape is the biggest province in South Africa in terms of land size, because the kilometer square that we are having there is the highest, which is 372,889. So basically we have here the Northern Cape. So if you go again to our answer section, you'll see that we have the Northern Cape being mentioned there. So if you go down, so we have the Northern Cape here being mentioned here. So we can as well try to move on to the next one. After that one, we have 1.3.5 reads calculate the population density of Gauteng. Show all your calculations, including the formula. Remember, the population density is given in the question, so we are just going to prove it. How did we arrive there? So 1.3.5, now we are saying they need the formula first. So we are saying 1.3.5, and we try to bring down the formula. Remember the formula for calculating population density. Population density is equals to total population. Then we divide by total area. Then we go to our to our table and try to see what we have in terms of those two figures for Gauteng. We are talking about, the question is asking us Gauteng province in particular. So we are here. We are saying that the total population that we have, remember the column for population is this one. So the area, the population that we have there is in the year 11,320,203. And then obviously the estimated area is here, which is 16,548. So basically our 11,328,203 is going to be our numerator, and then our denominator is going to be 16,548. So we just go and substitute there. So we are saying our numerator is 11,328,203. And obviously we go to our denominator, which is going to be 16,548. So this is what we have, and then we calculate it. We are going to see that the answer that we are going to get there is going to be 684.566,292. That is what is going to appear on your calculator. So obviously, this we are talking about people per kilometer square. So obviously, I would want to round it off to the nearest. We might start by rounding it off to two decimal places, whereby we're saying 1, 2. And obviously, we have our 6 here, which is going to change our 6 here to become 7. So it becomes 684.57. And then after that, we are talking about people here, so we can not have half a person, so we can just maybe round it up to the nearest whole number, whereby we're having a 5 here, changing our 4 to become 5. So we are having 685 people, 685 people per kilometer square. So this is representing our density. So this is what we have in terms of the calculation that we have there. Then obviously we move on to the next question, which is now 1 point. Let's try to see. We have calculated on 1.3.5. Now we are going to 1.3.6, which is saying discuss the problems that can be experienced in the province you mentioned. So due to the province that we have given, we are given in 1.3.2 is Gauteng province, and then we said there is high population density. So the problems that are going to emanate from that high population density are the problems that are being asked. So we can read, we can go again through the question. It's saying discuss the problems that can be experienced in the province you mentioned in question 1.3.2 due to high population density. So these are the problems that are going to emanate from the high population density. So let's try to see if there are many people that are concentrated in one area, what are the problems that we can deduce there? We can have shortage of space, obviously. People can become overcrowded, and space can be a problem. It's one of the problems. So in terms of basic services, we are talking about access to water and electricity also can be a problem, because too many people are concentrated in a small area, and obviously they need more water, and it's going to be water is going to be a scarce commodity there. So that's one of the problems that we have. Even we can raise the issue of overcrowding again. It can be a problem again. Overcrowding, it can be a problem, and even there's a higher possibility of prevalence of diseases. Diseases can spread easily when people are overcrowded. So the issue of diseases also can come as a problem. And we have the development also of informal settlements. Since we are saying there's shortage of space, it means that we are going to have informal settlements cropping up. People are going to build informal or illegal structures so that they can find accommodation, since accommodation is scarce and people are concentrated in one area. So those are some of the problems that we can do. So let's go to our answer section and see what do we have in terms of these problems. Remember, we are now on 1.3.6. So here it's now 1.3.6. So these are the problems that we have been trying to raise there. One is saying shortage of space. Second one, shortage of basic services, e.g., we have got water and electricity. And also we can have the issue of poverty that coming up, and then overcrowding, the issue of diseases, unemployment. Many people are searching jobs at a small area because they are concentrated in a small area. So obviously we are going to have some are not going to find the job. So unemployment can also go up. Then we can also have development of informal settlements are very correct. So we can now move on to the next question. On the next question now, we are going to 1.4. So this is our 1.4, and then we can try to go through the question. 1.4 is to study the infographic based on population growth and answer the questions that follows. So we are given something to read there, and then we are given a graph that we are given there. So we can just go through our text that is there, which reads Norway, the Minister of Home Affairs, in addressing the media, highlighted the problem of. We can try to zoom it so that we can see. So we are here. We are saying Norway, the Minister of Home Affairs, in addressing the media, highlighted the problem of decreasing birth rates facing developed countries in general and Norway in particular. He stated that if the trend continues within the next 8 years, there will be a negative natural growth rate. The current figures do not look so bad because of the immigration of foreigners into the country. This helps boost the figures. He continued to say that the immigrant population should only be part of the population solution. So you should go through this information and try to understand what is it saying. So if you go to the graph now, this is the graph that you are given, whereby you are given stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. And we have got some curves that are there that are representing. We have got natural increase, we've got birth, and then we've got death. Obviously, this is going to be our birth rate, and then this one is going to be our death rate. So and then at the bottom on the horizontal axis there, we are having low growth, high growth, decreasing growth, and then low growth. And obviously, we have the natural increase rate as a percentage. Then we have got questions that are going to follow. Questions that are following, so we can maybe try to zoom in so that we can see the question. So this is what we have. So 1.4.1, it reads, state the population problem that Norway is facing that is highlighted in the article. So we go through the article. We go through the article and try to see what problem is there. So we can deduce that problem from the graph that we are given. We can deduce if you let's try to analyze the graph and the text and see what problem can we deduce there. So if you go through the text, you would see that there is an indication of the problem of, if you come here, the problem of decreasing birth rates. So this is one of the problem that is being indicated that we can highlight there. So we have got the problem of decreasing decreasing birth rates as a problem. So if you come to our answer section again, let's just try to refer to our answer section. We have the issue of decreasing birth rates are being indicated there on 1.4. So 1.41, we are saying decreasing birth rates is the problem that we have. Then I will go to the next question. Like on the next question, we are now looking at question 1.4. Let's try to go to that question. Right. On the second part of the question is saying, give one reason why your answer in question 1.4.1 is a problem. So the issue of decreasing birth rate, why is it a problem in a country? So basically what it means, if there's a decrease in birth rate, it means obviously the population is going to go down. So if the population decreases, it means we have less people that are there in the country, and also it's going to affect the economically active. More economically active people are going to be less. And if they are less, it means also the economic activity in the country. In other words, we are saying the possibility of us having more goods and services being produced in the country is going to go down, because obviously the population has gone down, and the labor force also is also going to go down. So in that case now, it's going to affect the country in terms of the gross domestic product, that is a total monetary value of goods and services that are being produced in that country. So that is one of the problems that we can deduce from a low birth rate. So due to that, now we can go to our question and try to see what is the question, to our answer section and try to see what is the answer section saying about the problem that we can deduce from decreasing birth rate. So if you come here, you would see that from decreasing birth rate, we are the question. I mean, the answer section is highlighting the population become less or decrease. So by becoming less or decrease, that's where we are having those problems that we are saying it's going to affect the labor force being a problem now. So this is what we have in terms of 1.4.2. We can move on to the next question. Now, 1.4.3 now says, according to the article, the current population figures do not look bad. Provide a reason why it does not look bad. So if you go to the article, that's where we are going to identify why it does not look so bad. So it's being stated here, the current figures do not look so bad because of the immigration of foreigners into the country. So this is why it's not looking so bad, because there are some people that are coming from other countries that are closing the gap of the decreasing birth rate. The gap that has been created by the decreasing birth rate is being closed by foreigners that are coming. So we are also we are on the other hand having more people that are there in the country. Because there are foreigners immigrating into the country can be the explanation that we have there. So obviously we want to go to the other section for those who want to take down the response. So 1.4.2 is saying the population, because there are foreigners immigrating into the country, that is 1.4.2. Because there are foreigners immigrating into the country is the explanation that we have. Then we go to 1.4.4. Right, if you go to 1.4.4, it reads, provide one piece of evidence from demographic transition model that shows that Norway is an MEDC country. And we know that MEDC stands for more economically developed country. So the question is asking us to provide one piece of evidence from demographic transition that shows that it's a more economically developed country. So we go there. And try to see what evidence can we deduce there. So if you go to the graph there, we are going to see that we are having low death rates. The issue of low death rate here, if you see the curve for death rate is here, and it's showing that is very low. So in more economically developed countries, we are going to experience low death rates. Why? Because the health systems are very strong, and they have got the medications, they have got the money to finance the health sector. So obviously, in terms of medication, people are supported, and they don't easily die. So that's one of the reasons that we can raise in terms of the evidence that can support that it's a more economically developed country. So this is one of the evidence that we can have. So we can just try to see on our answer section in terms of what's the indication and we have there. So this is what the reason that we have on 1.4. We are having a low birth rate, which is on the second point, and then we can also have a low. We can also mention about a low or negative birth rate, a low negative birth rate that we have. So any two of these can be also correct. So we explained about a low birth rate. So this one is death. This one is supposed to be death. There is a mistake. So we are saying a low death rate. So we are talking about a low death rate. So that's what we have on 1.4.4. Then we go to the next one, which is 1.4.5. Then 1.4.5 is saying, discuss the possible economic impacts of a low growth rate for a country such as Norway. So our question has got a format, and it requires us to raise 2 points. So it is saying, discuss the possible economic impacts of a low growth rate for a country such as Norway. So we can just try to see what points can we raise. So the low growth rate that's being referred to here is the low growth rate of the population. The population is a low growth rate. What are the possible economic impacts that we can deduce from that? So you'd see that when we have got a low population growth, we are going to have less people in the country. So we are saying having that scenario, we are going to have a low possibility of us having people who are willing and able to go to work. So in that sense, we are having less economically we are having the economically active age group being contracted. We are going to have less people that are in the economically active age group. So when we talk about economically active age group, we are talking about the number of people between the age of on average 15 to 65 who are willing and able to work, which we can also term this economically active age group as a labor participation rate. So people within the labor participation range are going to be reduced. So when we have such a scenario, it means the economic activity also is going to be negatively affected in the economy. Remember, when I say economic activity, I'm referring to the production of goods and services in the country. So we are saying, when we say low economic activity, we are saying there is low production of goods and services in the country. So that can be one of the reasons. So we have raised 1 point there. And also another reason that we can point as a possible economic impact of a low growth rate of the population, the economy might suffer as a result of fewer people in the workforce. So this is what we have. So the labor force, we are talking about the people that are actually working in that country, and their number is also going to go down. So it can be a reason that we can also raise. So let's go to our answer section and see what points do we have there. So we are now on 1.4.5. So we are seeing that the first point is saying there will be less people in the economically active age group is one of the points. And then second point is saying the economy might suffer as a result of fewer people in the workforce. So this is what we have. So economically active age group, we are just talking about people who are willing and able to work, whether they are working or not, but they have the ability and they are willing. So they are in the economically active age group. And we have ranged that age group on average to be between 15 years and 64 years. Then the second point is talking about people that are actually working, that are on the job, are the ones that are being referred by the second point by saying the economy may suffer as a result of fewer people in the workforce. So remember, the workforce, we are talking about those that are actually employed. So we go to the last part of our questions, that is 1.4.6. So on 1.4.6, it says state one negative and one positive impact of the influx of foreigners in Norway. So the influx of foreigners in Norway, we are saying the aspects that we are having are foreigners getting into Norway. What negative impact can we deduce from that, and what positive can we deduce from that? So you would see that when you talk about negatives, we might have the issue of cultural differences are cropping up, which can also lead to what we call xenophobia. Xenophobia might be a problem. So remember, when we talk about xenophobia, we are talking about the fear and the hatred of strangers or foreigners or anything that might be strange or foreign. So that's what we call by xenophobia. Or we can briefly describe it as dislike against people from other countries. That's what we call xenophobia. So we are going to see that aspect or that problem are emanating now from the issue of foreigners are getting into the country. So when they become men, we are seeing xenophobia might crop up. And also, generally, the issue of cultural differences can be a negative that we can deduce from that. Cultures are different, and living in the same society can be a problem. So that's a negative that we can deduce from that. And then from a positive point of view, we are seeing that those foreigners that are coming also, they might come with new ideas, new knowledge on how maybe in terms of production of goods and services, it is going to uplift the economic activity in the country. So that's a positive that we can deduce from foreigners coming into the country. Some of them are productive, which is a positive to a country. So this is what we have. And some of them are also going to engage in foreign direct investment. They're going to open new businesses in the country and increase economic activity, reduce unemployment. So those are some of the positives that we can deduce from the foreigners. So let's go to our answer section and see what explanations do we have in terms of that 1.4.6. So on 1.4.6, we have the issue of negatives. These are negative points that are just stated here. Negative cultural differences might cause conflicts. That's one of the points, which is one of the negatives. So xenophobia might be a problem again. So we can pick one point there to be your negative. Then on positive, we can add there. Positive, we are saying foreigners might bring foreigners might bring new knowledge with them, which is a positive. Which is a positive, might bring new knowledge with them. So that's a positive that we can deduce from foreigners getting into the country. So this is what we have, guys, according to this video. Those who have subscribed, please subscribe and share. We are still coming with more videos as we prepare for a final exam. So let's subscribe, turn off the notification button so that whenever a video is uploaded of Geography Grade 10, you are updated. Let's share the link to all our friends. As for this video, I'm out. We'll meet again in the next video.